All right, get ready because today we are taking a deep dive into the world of LS engines.
Oh, yeah.
You have sent over a ton of stuff.
Yeah?
Articles, spec sheets,
I see you've been doing your research.
even historical deep dives on this. It seems like you are really looking to become like a true LS aficionado.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot to unpack here. It seems like you're really going for like the whole picture.
Yeah.
The history, the specs, why everybody's obsessed.
Yeah, exactly. We are on a mission to demystify these engines.
Okay.
We are gonna untangle all the generations, decode the lingo, and by the end, you'll know why the LS is practically royalty in the car world.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
I got to warn you, though, some of this stuff can get really technical.
Yeah, I'm seeing that.
But don't worry, we're here to like sift through all that and pull out the good stuff just for you.
Awesome. So before we get lost in a sea of engine codes, let's start with the basics. What exactly is an LS engine?
Okay.
I hear it thrown around a lot.
Yeah.
But is it just any engine with LS stamped on it?
No, not quite. It's more of a nickname that enthusiasts use.
Okay.
Think of it as generations 3 and 4 of GM's small block V8s,
Okay.
the ones that came out in like the late 90s.
Okay, so there's a specific lineage we're talking about.
Right.
But what about those Vortec engines?
Oh, yeah.
Because I see that name floating around too.
Right. And that's where all the confusion comes in.
Yeah.
You see, LS and Vortec used pretty much interchangeably, but it's not always accurate.
Okay.
You got to look beyond the name and go into like those engine codes, those RPO codes.
RPO.
Yeah, RPO stands for regular production option.
Gotcha.
So basically, it's like a unique ID for each engine variation,
Okay, so like a secret decoder ring for gearheads.
pretty much.
I like that. But tell me, why does it even matter if an engine is technically LS or not?
Yeah.
What's got everybody so hyped about these specific engines?
Well, think of it this way.
Okay.
For the price of a used economy car,
Right.
you can get an engine that punches way above its weight class.
Oh, wow.
We're talking big block power in a small block package.
Okay.
You can find a decent LS for around $5,000,
That's not bad.
which is a steal, considering like the performance that you're getting.
Okay, so affordability is definitely a factor,
Right.
but it can't just be about the price.
Right.
What else is driving this LS craze?
I think it's kind of like the perfect storm of factors.
Okay.
They're powerful, they're relatively easy to work on, and incredibly versatile.
Okay.
So you can tune them for a mellow daily driver or like a 1,000 horsepower monster.
Wow.
And plus, there's like this massive aftermarket scene for LS engines.
Right. I've heard that. Yeah.
So finding parts and upgrades is a breeze.
1,000 horsepower. That's venturing into like supercar territory.
It is.
No wonder people are swapping these engines into everything imaginable.
It's crazy.
Speaking of swaps, why are LS engines so popular for that in particular?
Well, a big part of it is their design.
Okay.
Like the exterior dimensions are super consistent across generations,
Oh, okay.
which makes swapping them into older cars
Right.
a much smoother process.
No, that makes sense.
Like imagine trying to like cram a modern V8 into a classic muscle car.
Oh, yeah.
It would be a nightmare.
For sure.
Wow.
So the LS is like the Goldilocks engine, just the right size.
Pretty much.
For so many different applications.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so we've got power, affordability, swap friendliness,
Yeah.
and reliability.
Uh-huh.
Starting to sound like the ultimate engine here.
I know, right?
But let's not forget, you mentioned a whole family of LS engines.
Yeah.
How do we make sense of all the different variations out there?
Well, that's where our deep dive into history comes in.
Okay, let's rewind the clock.
All right, so let's rewind to 1997.
1997.
Yeah, picture the scene. GM drops the LS1 into the new Corvette C5,
Okay.
and the automotive world just goes nuts.
Really?
Yeah, it was a game changer.
Oh.
You know, with its all aluminum construction and its impressive power output.
So the LS1 was like the OG, the one that kicked off this whole dynasty.
Yeah.
What came next in this evolutionary tale?
Well, things escalated pretty quickly.
Okay.
Just a few years later, in 2001, they unleashed the LS6.
The LS6.
Yeah, a high-performance beast
Okay.
that found its way into the Corvette Z06.
Nice.
More power, more aggressive camshaft.
Wow.
It really set a new benchmark for what the LS family could do.
Okay, I can see how this is getting addictive, like always pushing for more power,
Yeah,
better performance.
for sure.
But I'm guessing it wasn't just about brute force.
Right.
Were there any leaps in technology along the way?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Fast forward to 2005,
2005. Yep.
and we enter the Gen 5 era,
Okay.
and these engines brought a host of improvements, including the ingenious displacement on demand system.
Oh, okay. Displacement on demand.
Yeah.
That sounds intriguing. Break it down for me. What does that even mean?
Think of it as your engine getting smarter.
Okay.
It can shut off cylinders
Really?
when you don't need all that power.
Okay.
Like when you're cruising on the highway.
I see.
It's a seamless transition.
Wow.
And suddenly you're sipping fuel like a much smaller engine.
So more power when you need it, better fuel efficiency when you don't.
Exactly.
That's some clever engineering.
Uh-huh.
But before we get too far ahead of ourselves,
Okay.
let's talk about the elephant in the room, or should I say the engine in the room?
Okay.
The LS4.
Oh, yes, the LS4.
Now this is where things get interesting.
This is where things get interesting.
Unlike its rear-wheel drive brethren, the LS4 was designed specifically for front-wheel drive applications.
You got it.
Imagine that, an LS engine powering the front wheels.
Crazy.
It does sound kind of crazy, but why is the LS4 considered the oddball of the family?
Well, for starters, its transverse layout and its unique design make it
Bruh.
a little less desirable for those engine swaps that we were talking about earlier.
Okay.
Yeah, you're better off sticking with its more popular siblings if you're looking to swap.
So the LS4 is best left in its natural habitat.
Yeah. Unless you're like a fabrication wizard with a lot of time on your hands,
Yeah,
probably best to leave that one alone.
got it. Some LS engines are definitely more swap-friendly than others.
Definitely.
But before we get into the nitty-gritty details of swaps,
Okay.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around all these different LS variations and their cryptic codes.
Yeah.
It feels like we're just scratching the surface here.
Oh, yeah. We've only just begun our journey through the LS landscape.
Oh, boy.
There's a whole world of like fascinating variations in performance potential
Okay.
just waiting to be explored.
All right, I'm ready for more Lead the Way, Engine Guru.
All right, let's do it.
What else is in store for us on this LS adventure?
Next, we'll delve deeper into the evolution of the LS family,
Okay.
explore those major technological leaps,
Okay.
and uncover the secrets behind those all-important RPO codes.
Ooh,
Trust me, it's going to be a wild ride.
I'm ready for it. Let's go.
All
All right, buckle up, everybody.
Let's do it.
Okay, my brain is officially buzzing with all these LS facts.
Yeah.
But there's one thing I keep coming back to. You mentioned some LS engines cranking out over 1,000 horsepower. That's just mind-blowing. How do you even squeeze that much power out of a relatively small V8?
Well, you're right. 1,000 horsepower is no joke. It's like strapping a rocket to your car.
Yeah.
But it's not just about raw size.
Right.
It's about efficiency, airflow, and just pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
I'm all ears. Walk me through how someone transforms like a stock LS into a fire-breathing monster.
Okay, so it all starts with the fundamentals.
Oh.
Think of it like building a house.
Okay.
You need a solid foundation before you start adding all the fancy features.
Right.
So in the LS world, that means addressing the intake and exhaust first.
So opening up the airways, letting the engine breathe freely.
Exactly.
Okay.
A cold air intake replaces that restricted factory air box with a system that draws in cooler, denser air.
Okay.
It's like giving your engine a deep breath of fresh air.
I like that. And on the other end, upgrading the exhaust system
Right.
allows those spent gases to escape more efficiently,
Exactly.
further improving that airflow. So it's about uncorking the engine, letting it exhale freely. I can see how that would make a difference.
For sure.
But what about those more extreme power gains? That's where those cryptic RPO codes come in, right?
Yeah, RPO codes are crucial,
Okay.
especially when you're diving into modifications.
Okay.
They tell you exactly what you're working with.
Right.
So you're making sure that you're choosing compatible parts and upgrades.
Okay.
But when it comes to truly massive power, we're talking forced induction,
Okay.
turbochargers, or superchargers.
Forced induction, the holy grail of horsepower.
Exactly.
But how do those work exactly? I'm picturing something out of a sci-fi movie.
So think of it this way.
Okay.
A turbocharger, or a supercharger, is like an air pump for your engine.
Okay.
It forces more air into the cylinders, allowing you to burn more fuel and create that explosive power.
So it's like giving your engine a super-sized lung capacity. I'm starting to see how those 1,000 horsepower figures are achievable,
Yeah.
but it can't be as simple as just bolting on a turbo and calling it a day, right?
Not quite.
Okay.
Adding forced induction is serious business.
Okay.
You're essentially pushing the engine beyond its factory limits.
Right.
So you need to make sure that everything else can handle that increased stress.
So it's like a chain reaction upgrade, one thing, and you need to address other components to keep everything in balance?
Precisely.
Okay.
You need to consider things like fuel injectors, engine internals,
Okay.
and most importantly, tuning.
Okay.
A proper tune makes sure that the engine is running smoothly and efficiently with all those extra horses.
Tuning, that sounds like a whole other world of complexity. Is that something only hardcore gearheads can tackle?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
While there's a lot to learn,
Right.
the beauty of the LS platform is its accessibility.
Okay.
There's a wealth of information and resources available,
Yeah, that's true.
from online forums to dedicated tuning shops.
So even a relative newbie could get in on the LS tuning action.
Absolutely. There's a learning curve, but with the right guidance and a bit of patience, anyone can unlock the potential of their LS engine. This is getting me pumped. I'm already envisioning like some LS-powered project car in my future.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of projects, let's talk about those legendary LS swaps.
Okay.
You mentioned that some cars are particularly popular targets.
Oh, yeah. The LS swap scene is a vibrant one.
Really?
You see them popping up in everything from lightweight Miatas to rugged Jeep Wranglers.
Wow.
And, of course, there's the classic route, dropping an LS into a vintage muscle car.
Yeah, I can see the appeal. You get modern performance and reliability wrapped in a classic
The
package.
best of both worlds.
But what makes certain cars better suited for LS swaps than others? Is it just a matter of space under the hood?
Space is definitely a factor,
Okay.
but it's more nuanced than that.
Okay.
You need to consider things like transmission compatibility, engine mounts, wiring harnesses,
Gotcha.
even the overall weight balance of the car.
So it's not just a matter of dropping in the engine and hoping for the best?
Definitely not.
Okay.
A successful LS swap requires careful planning and research.
You need to choose the right engine for the application,
Right.
source compatible parts, and address any potential challenges.
Yeah.
It can be a complex project, but the results can be absolutely spectacular.
It sounds like a rewarding challenge, though. Is there a particular LS swap that stands out as like a fan favorite in the enthusiast community?
There's a few, but one of the most iconic has to be the LS swapped Miata.
The Mia, okay.
It's like the ultimate David and Goliath story.
Yeah.
Taking a lightweight roadster and stuffing a powerful V8 under the hood.
Yeah.
The result is a pocket rocket that's guaranteed to put a smile on your face.
I can only imagine the grin-inducing power-to-weight ratio. It's like a go-kart on steroids.
Pretty much.
But what about those who want a more practical LS swap?
Right.
Something that can handle daily driving duties.
So the Jeep Wrangler is a popular choice for that.
The Wrangler.
It's already a capable off-roader,
Right.
but dropping in an LS takes it to a whole new level.
Wow.
You get that extra grunt for tackling tough trails and plenty of power for highway cruising.
So you're saying an LS can make a good Jeep even better. That's tempting.
Oh, yeah.
But what about those who want to keep things classic? What's a good option for someone looking to breathe new life into a vintage muscle car?
Oh, the possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
But a classic Chevrolet Camaro or Chevelle is always a great choice.
Oh, okay.
These cars were originally designed for small block Chevy engines. So an LS swap is a relatively straightforward process.
Okay.
You get modern power and reliability while preserving that classic muscle car aesthetic.
I can picture it now. Cruising down the boulevard in a vintage muscle car with a modern LS heart beating under the hood. It's the best of both worlds.
It is.
But as much as I love talking about swaps,
Okay.
I'm curious about something you mentioned earlier, the environmental impact of LS engines.
Right.
LS engines, like all gasoline-powered engines, have an environmental footprint.
Of course.
But it's important to remember that the LS family has evolved over time,
Right.
incorporating technologies that improve fuel efficiency and reduce emissions. You mentioned the displacement on demand system earlier.
Yeah.
Are there other innovations that have made LS engines more eco-friendly?
Absolutely. Later generations of LS engines feature advanced fuel injection systems, variable valve timing,
Okay.
and even cylinder deactivation technology.
Wow.
These innovations not only boost performance,
Okay.
but also help reduce fuel consumption and emissions.
So while an LS might not be as eco-friendly as a fully electric car, it's not a gas-guzzling dinosaur either.
Exactly. And remember, the aftermarket offers even more options for those looking to make their LS engines more environmentally responsible.
Okay.
You can find everything from high-flow catalytic converters to tuning solutions that optimize fuel efficiency.
This is all fascinating stuff.
Yeah.
I'm starting to appreciate the complexity and the versatility of the LS platform,
Yeah.
but I have a confession to make.
Okay.
I'm a bit of a tech geek.
Yeah.
And I can't resist diving into those nitty-gritty details.
Okay.
What are some of the more advanced features found in later LS engines?
Well, prepare to be amazed. Later generations of LS engines are packed with cutting-edge technology.
Okay.
For example, you've got direct injection,
Okay.
which precisely delivers fuel directly into the cylinders for improved combustion and efficiency.
Direct injection, that sounds high-tech. What are the benefits for, like, the average driver?
Think of it this way.
Okay.
Direct injection is like giving your engine a more precise and efficient fuel delivery system.
Okay.
This translates to better throttle response,
Okay.
increased power, and improved fuel economy. It's a win-win.
More power and better fuel economy? Sign me up. What other technological marvels are hiding under the hood of these modern LS engines?
Well, you've got variable valve timing, which adjusts the timing of the valves to optimize performance and efficiency across a wider RPM range.
Okay.
And then there's active fuel management, which can shut down cylinders when they're not needed,
Oh, wow.
essentially turning your V8 into a V4 for improved fuel economy during cruising.
Wow. These engines are practically thinking for themselves. It's incredible how far technology has come.
It really is. And with the constant push for innovation in the automotive industry, I can only imagine what future generations of LS engines will hold.
All right, I'm officially hooked.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what the future holds for this legendary engine family.
Me too.
But before we get too far ahead of ourselves,
Okay.
let's bring things back to the present.
All right.
We've covered a lot of ground today, from the humble beginnings of the LS1 to the mind-blowing power of forced induction.
Been quite a journey.
But there's one burning question that's been lingering in my mind throughout this entire deep dive.
Okay.
With the rise of electric vehicles
Right.
and the push for sustainability, does the LS engine have a future?
Yeah.
Is there still a place for this iconic V8 in a world that's rapidly shifting towards electrification?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
The automotive landscape is changing at a dizzying pace.
Right.
And the future of gasoline-powered engines is a hot topic of debate.
I'm eager to hear your perspective on this. What do you see on the horizon for the LS engine family? I'm eager to hear your perspective on this. What do you see on the horizon for the LS engine family?
Well, it's a tough question.
Yeah.
You know, on one hand, you have this, like, undeniable push towards electric vehicles.
Right.
You know, zero emissions, instant torque, that silent futuristic vibe.
Right.
It's appealing.
Yeah, it is. And they're getting better all the time. Longer ranges, faster charging,
Yeah.
more models to choose from. But does that mean the LS is destined to become a relic of the past?
Well, I wouldn't write off the LS just yet.
Okay.
You know, the shift to electric won't happen overnight.
Right.
There are still plenty of situations where gasoline engines,
Okay.
especially ones as, like, robust as the LS,
Right.
make a lot more sense.
You're right. I hadn't thought about that. For people who need serious towing capacity or who live in areas with limited charging infrastructure, electric just isn't practical yet.
Exactly. And let's be honest, there's a certain visceral thrill that comes with a rumbling V8
Yeah.
that electric cars just haven't quite captured.
Right.
That sound, that feeling,
Yeah.
it's part of the emotional connection people have with cars.
Yeah, I know. I mean, there's something primal about that roar that gets your adrenaline pumping.
Yeah.
But even if the LS isn't going extinct tomorrow, how does it adapt to a world that's increasingly focused on sustainability?
Well, that's where the LS's adaptability really shines.
Okay.
Remember, it's not a static design.
Right.
It's constantly evolving.
Yeah.
Even recent generations have incorporated features to boost fuel efficiency and reduce emissions.
Right. We talked about things like direct injection and cylinder deactivation.
Exactly.
Those aren't just performance upgrades. They're making the LS more eco-conscious too.
For sure. And don't forget the aftermarket.
Right.
There's a whole ecosystem of companies developing even more eco-friendly solutions for LS engines.
Oh, wow.
From high-flow catalytic converters to tuning software that maximizes efficiency.
So it sounds like the LS, even in its current form, isn't necessarily at odds with a more sustainable future.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It's all about finding that balance between performance and responsibility.
Right.
And who knows what innovations are on the horizon.
Right.
Maybe we'll see hybrid LS systems
Oh, yeah.
or engines optimized for alternative fuels.
Mm-hmm.
The possibilities are exciting.
Okay. I have to ask, what's your personal prediction?
Okay.
What does the future hold for the LS?
It's tough to say for sure.
Hmm.
That spirit of innovation and enthusiasm will keep the LS legacy alive.
Well said. I think we've covered just about everything on our LS deep dive.
I think so.
We've gone from the history and specs to the wild world of swaps and modifications,
Yeah,
and even pondered the future of this iconic engine.
it's been a blast.
It has been.
I hope you've come away with a deeper understanding of what makes the LS so special
Definitely have.
and why it continues to captivate car enthusiasts around the world.
Absolutely. I'm walking away with a newfound appreciation for these engines, and who knows, maybe I'll even tackle an LS project of my own one day.
I wouldn't be surprised once the LS bug bites, it's hard to shake.
That's for sure a huge thank you for guiding us through this fascinating world.
Of course, happy to be here.
And for everyone listening, we hope you enjoyed our LS deep dive.
Yeah.
We'll catch you next time for another adventure into the world of all things automotive.